Hey there, my Fun Fold friends. Susan here with Pumpkin Hill Stampers. So I have our Double Accordion Fun Fold project take you through step by step. Now there are lots of parts and pieces for this project, and it takes precision placement of cardstock, and I'm going to be honest with you, this is the third take of my video because the first two I flubbed. So I'm going to take this one a little slower, so this one might be a little bit long, but we're going to get through it without mistakes this time. So, and this is why I send practice kits, so you can practice it on a retired kit and make your mistakes and learn from your errors, and then you can make your own. So this is a really good example of that one. Okay, so here we go. So first off, this one you can make with one piece of cardstock. Okay, I've shown the grid here, and then another piece for the belly band. So we're going to start by cutting all of our cardstock. Now I'm using Masterfully Made as my DSP sample, and I've paired it with Lemon Lime Twist. So I'm going to move this over a little, and I'm going to put my cutter here. Okay, so open up my arm. So the first thing we're going to do, move this back a little bit so you can see. First thing I'm going to do is cut it right down the center at 5.5. Okay, so I'm going to put this on here. Move my things out of the way. It's trickier than it looks, getting all these pieces on camera. Okay, so I'm going to cut it at 5.5. Okay, 5.5. 2 halves of my cardstock. This one I'm going to cut down to 7. Okay, now my 7-inch piece has to be scored at 1/2 and 1.5. So I'm going to switch blades, and I'm going to put this, slide it out to 1/2, and score it. And then if I slide it all the way to the edge of my trimmer, that's 1.5. Okay, you're going to do that on both sides. So if that works for you, just flip it over and do it again. So 1/2, 1/2, and then 1.5 all the way to the end there. Alright, so now our card base is cut and scored. Now we're going to cut the other half. So this one we're going to cut at 2 and 2, and then 1.5, 1.5, and we'll get our other pieces. So I'm cutting at 2, 2. The next ones are all 1.5, so 1.5 and 1.5. Okay, those are all those pieces. Now, these 2 pieces need to be cut down to 5. So I'm just going to put it back in and trim it down to 5. And this one gets trimmed down to 5 as well. Now these are going to be the hinges on the card. So these are also going to get scored at 1/2 inch and then 1 inch. Okay, so now I'm going to close this for a second. I'm going to put this in at 1/2 inch and score it, don't cut it. And then I'm going to turn it over and do 1/2 inch from the other side. And when you fold this one up, it's going to make like a little zigzag, a little Z of its own. Okay, so that's 1 hinge, and then I got to score this one at 1/2. And turn it around and do 1/2 from the other side. Okay, so there's my hinges. And then these 2 need to be at 5 1/4. So these are going to get trimmed at 5 1/4 and 5 1/4. Okay, so there's that. And then I need my belly band. So from another piece of cardstock, I need 1.5 by 9.5. So I'm going to go 1.5 first. And remember, belly bands can be any thickness you want them to be. I just work with 1.5. But you can make them skinnier, you can make them wider, however you want to do it. And then at 9.5. So, okay. So there's all of the cardstock pieces. Okay? now I'm going to cut my DSP. I'm going to use both sides of this pattern paper. I'm going to use this one on my belly band. So I'm going to cut that one first. So I need this to be 1 1/4 because I want it to be thinner than the belly band itself. So 1 1/4. And then that's going to be at 9 1/2, so I'm going to put that back out. Okay. Then these pieces are 2 inches wide. So I need 1 3/4 for both of those. I'm going to use this side for the print for this one. So 1 3/4. Now I need them at, yeah, okay, 1 3/4. Do that first. So if I open this up, all right, you have your template. Oh, I pulled my arm right off because I've been messing with mine a lot. Okay, so your arm is 5 1/4 by 1 3/4 on both sides. So 1 3/4. Put this in straight. Take that part off, and then I need 5 1/4. So 1 at 5 1/4, and another one at 5 1/4. Okay, and then these pieces are 5 by 1 1/4. So I'm going to trim this piece down to 1 1/4. Keep it straight. And then they're at 5 inches. So everything is just stepped in 1/4 of an inch. Okay, so there's all our pieces cut and scored. And I just have a little bit of scrap. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and shift these pieces over, and we'll start building the fun fold. Oh, I forgot my center. I'll cut that in a minute. That's okay. So move that aside so I don't get distracted with you. Okay, so bone folders. So I'm going to fold towards the center on the 1 1/2 inch score line, both sides. Okay, fold in, and then pull those 1/2 inch tabs back. Okay, see how it makes that accordion Z in the base? Okay, it's going to open out like that. Okay, now I'm going to take my 2 inch sections and put my DSP on first. Come on, glue. Thank you. So just center those on there. Okay, now there's 2 ways of putting these on. I'm going to show you both. The way I have written in your instructions is to fold this in towards the center. Put your adhesive on here. And if you want to use stronger adhesive, you can totally do that. But I'm doing this because if you put it together, the practice one together wrong, and you need to take a piece off, if you use stronger adhesive, you're not going to be able to. So this is folded in. This piece, you want to line it up with the edge of your card. Okay, the edge of your card. So along here, along here, along here, and then just press that down to that 1/2 inch to adhere. Okay. Now, as I was building all these templates, I found an easier way. So I'm going to show you that one too. This other side is going to get the same process. You're still going to put a 1/2 adhesive on the 1/2 inch piece, but if you line up the cardstock with the crease right there and press, you're going to get the same result. So if you work better flat, do it this way. If you're okay with the folded cardstock underneath, you can do it the other way. But either way is going to get you the same result. They're going to meet in the middle, and they're both going to open out. Okay? Okay, so there's the first accordion part of our card. Alright, so next is the hinges. So these are scored at a half and 1, right? So it's a 1/2 inch score across them. These are going to get added to this front panel, the ones I've dubbed the arms. Okay, now when you put these on, you want them to open out. All right, everything opens out. So you want to put it on like this. You want to open out. This one you want to have open out. So this is where I usually make my mistake. So I'm going to tell you, I never tell you to do this, but I'm going to tell you to do it this time. Put your hinge over here, the way it needs to be positioned. And just put some adhesive right along the edge and stop when you get near the top. Okay? Now you might use a little more, you might use more permanent, but if you do it like this, you might not make a mistake. So this is going to get lined up right on the edge of that card. Now you see I folded it up so I could see my positioning. And my liquid adhesive let me wiggle it around a little bit. So there's the benefit of liquid adhesive. The downfall is it's not as strong a bond, so it may not hold as well. But I got my piece on correctly, which is key. Alright, we're going to do the same thing over here. So, line it up, put your adhesive along the edge, stop before you get to the top because it doesn't go all the way to the top. And then put your hinge on, fold it up so you can see, and position it in the corner at the bottom, and then along your edge. Okay, press so it adheres. And then it opens out. Yay, we did it right. Okay, and we put these at the bottom so that when it stands up, it's got a little more foundation, right? A little more footing to be on. Okay, let's let that dry. So we've got the next pieces, right? The uppermost piece. So I'm going to put my DSP. For both panels. Okay, now you can see from your template that when it all gets folded in, right, everything has to be inside of the 4-inch width. Okay, so this part, this piece here that we're going to put on now, has to line up with the outside of this hinge. Okay, so we're going to put adhesive on this outside 1/2 inch section, and you're going to line up this DSP layer with the outside edge of your card. So everything opens out and everything gets lined up with an edge. So that goes there, and this one's going to go over here. Lined up with the outside edge. Like that. I really think this is a great little fold. So now I got a card like this as a swap, and then I just deconstructed it to figure out how to make it and share it with you. So that's why I like doing swaps with other demos, because always something new to learn. Alright, let's do our belly band while that dries. I'm going to use the lemon lime on the belly band because I'm going to stamp my sentiment on it. So now I'm going to stamp directly to the DSP for this project that I'm sharing with you, but you could always add a tag or a label, dress it up even further. So these are just for practice and for learning the fold. Okay, so I'm going to use Irresistible Blooms, and I'm going to use Berry Burst and Lemon Lime Twist because they're coordinating colors. So I'm going to stamp Thank You for this part on the outside. And I'm going to put it in the middle because that'll be fine with my belly band when I wrap it. Okay, now I forgot to cut the inner piece. If your card is light enough, you don't have to necessarily do the liner, but I am going to do a liner. So I need to cut my basic white, I need 5 1/4 by 3 3/4. And then I'm going to stamp for my inside. Alright, so I have another sentiment from that same set. Hook that up, square this up. Hopefully we'll stamp it square. Okay, and then I'm going to stamp a flower, maybe 2 flowers, kind of in the corner. Some active edge stamping, and I'm going to bring in a leaf and lemon lime twist. Tie this all in together. There we go. Okay. So that's just going to go in the center of the card. Now, if you have a hard time with these being in your way, just fold them back. Then you can see where the center is, and you can just position your card in there. Just press that to hold it down for a minute so it all stays secure. Don't rub over your wet ink though, because you'll smudge it. Okay, so there's our card completely open, partially open, and closed. Okay, so now our belly band. So put your belly band across your card. You're going to tuck one side behind. Okay, and then pull it out and give it a crease where you folded it. Okay, then I push it back, but not all the way back. Okay, give yourself a little gap because this is a thick card and you want to be able to maneuver the belly band up and down so we can get it open. And then pull your other side in and give that a crease. And you can open this up a little bit and come back and crease it with your bone folder. And then we just need to put it together. Now again, this is a time when you might want to use a stronger adhesive, but for the sake of the video, I am using my mono adhesive. So I'm going to put a little bit on the end there, a little bit on the end here. They're going to overlap and seal my belly band. Now, because the width of this card is only 4 inches, it's going to fit just fine in your envelopes. Okay, it won't be too wide with a belly band on it. So there we go. There is our finished fun fold project, guys. So, like I said, this one's a little involved. Take your time. Play with the template so that you know how it operates and how it goes together, and then use your practice kit if you did the kits in the mail option and go through it, right? Put one together, and then you're ready to cut your own papers and create your own cards with your own supplies. So I hope you enjoyed it. Join me again next time and we'll do another fun one. Alright everybody, thank you very much, and I'll stamp again with you real soon. Bye bye.